Hey guys, what's up? This is Herpy Derpy, and today I'm going to be trying to give you guys a new kind of video, and it's going to be about a Pokemon custom movesets. So fun! I know because I got a lot of questions about the Lopunny set that I used in Xenon's SOS video, and I thought it might be kind of fun to try to analyze like the moves I picked on Lopunny, why I picked it, explain how it works, and hopefully you guys might try out Lopunny as well. And hopefully this is a series I might try like every week. I don't know, we'll see. So, as I said, today is going to be featuring Lopunny, or I like to call it Mrs. Lolo, I guess. Like how I call Mrs. Tantan, like everything on my team. So, anyways, I like to use Lopunny as a utility Pokemon, and by that I mean it's not really a sweeper, it's not a wall either. It's like it just has a bunch of moves that can cripple your opponent's team, which altogether can help you win the game in conjunction with like your sweepers and your walls and stuff like that. Because Lopunny is really famous in 4th Gen as being the Pokemon that has switcheroo a lot, and it loves to just trade over choice specs and other choice items and stuff like that. Which it's still like doable in 5th Gen as well, even though the switcheroo and trick mechanics changed a little bit. But that's okay. It doesn't really matter too much. But either way, I think Lopunny is just a great Pokemon. I have no idea why it's an NU, but you know what? Lopunny deserves better than NU, seriously. Lopunny is just, like, I don't know why anybody uses Lopunny. Lopunny just so many uses on my team. So, as for EVs, you can see that I do have a heavy investment in speed. As you can see, my nature is also Jolly, which is plus speed minus special attack. And the reason why I capitalize speed so much in Lopunny is that it really needs to be fast if it wants to be effective. Let's face it, because if you want to make sure you can outspeed your opponent to get in the last minute switcheroo before you die, last minute toxic, last minute thunder wave. So you really need speed because that's what makes Lopunny a great Pokemon in general. Because Lopunny is already pretty fast naturally, and I put EVs in HP as well because, I mean, Lopunny isn't really going to be using any attacking moves, so you might as well put it in HP because it really helps Lopunny take hits slightly better, much better than if you didn't put the HP investment. So, because a lot of the times I usually live with maybe like 30 HP, and the HP investment really does help in the long run. So that's good. The leftover 6 EVs, you can put it in whatever you want depending on what set you want. Like you can put your 6 EVs in attack if you're running one attacking move like me. You can put your 6 EVs in your special defense because Lopunny does have a bit of higher special defense than normal defense. So you could put it in special defense if you want. If you're running 4 moves, I don't know. It doesn't really matter too much altogether. The main thing that matters is your 252 EVs in HP and speed. Okay. So I already explained the nature. Make it Jolly. Like you can run timid. It doesn't really matter. I don't think it really matters unless because if you can run timid if you're using 4 non-attacking moves. That's totally cool. I don't really care. But the ability and item choice does matter quite a bit. The ability, it has to be Klutz. Q-Charm, like what the hell? Q-Charm doesn't even matter. You want Klutz. Klutz, Klutz, Klutz. So basically, what Klutz does is that it prevents you from using items. That may seem really stupid, but it actually works really well in Lopunny because she has access to switcheroo. So the thing is, with Klutz, you can't use your items, right? So you can hold a choice specs, but you won't be locked on into any moves, but you won't get the special attack boost. You can have like Iron Ball, but you won't be slowed down dramatically because you can't use it. So you can have a lot of negative items on Lopunny, and Lopunny won't use it, which is what makes Klutz really, really unique. You can have like a Toxic Orb on Lopunny, and that'll be fine. It's really, really creative what item you can put on Lopunny, and it can really confuse opponents a lot of times if you're using an original set. But in this case, I'm not. I'm using a basic Lopunny set with a choice specs. So, yeah. So, moving on to items. The item does matter quite a bit. It matters what you switcheroo over to your opponent. I personally like using choice specs because a lot of the walls I like to give my choice specs to are usually physically based. Like, I mean, at RU you see a lot of, you know, like Crustles and like, oh god, Kabutops and like Armaldo and stuff like that. And all those guys are physical or are just attacking based and not special attacking based. So choice specs is pretty much the best option here. You could run a choice scarf, but that is a bit risky, especially if they have like a fast Pokemon like Kabutops who could actually really benefit from a Choice Scarf and isn't too bad off with it. So I really don't recommend Choice Scarf, but if you're maybe in like OU and the walls in OU are much lower, like Ferrothorn and Bronzong and stuff like that, by all means go for Choice Scarf. That's totally cool. But in the RU and U tier, definitely go with Choice Specs. Anyways, onto my moves. I have Switcheroo as my first move. It's a must on Lopunny. Switcheroo is the only reason why you would even take Klutz, so definitely take Switcheroo. It works exactly like Trick, so don't think there's any weird mechanics to it. I don't really think I really need to explain that. But a mind game that you could do with Switcheroo is that most people know that Lopunny is likes to trade items. So what you could do is that when you send out your Lopunny, you can scout out which Pokemon are choiced, and you can make double switches and stuff like that, which gets a little bit more complicated. But if you can predict right, it can be really helpful to your team. Like, I remember when I was playing a match, I switched on my Lopunny on his Crustle, I think, and I looked back at his team preview, and I noticed that he did have a pincer, so I guessed that he would probably switch into his pincer to take the switcheroo, so I made a double switch into an Archeops, so I have a more favorable matchup against his pincer. So but if you can't predict like that, you can just stay in, go for a status move instead, like Toxic or Thunder Wave, and that would also be really beneficial, because then you can scout out, once again, you can scout out what set your opponent has based on what item that Pokemon has that switches in on your Lopunny. So yeah, that's a cool kind of weird mind game thing with Switcheroo. Entrainment is another skill or a move I really want to talk about, because what entrainment does is that it makes your opponent's ability the same as your ability, and this is super good on Lopunny because you can give Klutz to your opponent, which can really help you in the long run, especially if your opponent has a Magic Guard or a Pure Power, or if it's a Pokemon that is really dependent on their ability. Just don't but it can also be really unbeneficial. It could also be kind of counter and go against you. Let's say you're against an Archeops and you use Entrainment. That would suck like hell because they wouldn't have Defeatist anymore. So be really careful about what you use Entrainment on. But otherwise, Entrainment can be really useful. It can, it also prevents your opponents from stopping items since you give it Klutz, so you can make it stop getting leftovers recovery, which is really helpful in Stall Wars and stuff like that. So yeah, Entrainment is just another really nice skill introduced in 5th Gen that kind of made me look at Lopunny again. So that was that definitely was the main reason why I looked at Lopunny, because after I saw Killer Entrainment, I'm like, whoa, that's sick. Wouldn't it be cool if I could switch over Klutz to my opponent? I mean, in Xenon's SOS video, you even saw me use Entrainment quite a bit, like on the Azumarill to get rid of Pure Power. I even used it on Magic Bounce to have my Lopunny get Magic Bounce, which is really crazy mechanics. I'm not sure how that works, but anyways, if you use Entrainment on Magic Bounce, you're going to get Magic Bounce yourself, so just so you know. And anyways, moving on, your third move is going to have to be a status move, either Toxic or Thunder Wave. Because like I said before with Switcheroo, if you're going to be forcing a lot of switches out, because your opponent definitely doesn't want certain Pokemon to take, a Choice Specs or a Choice Scarf. So if you don't want to predict, you can go for a status move, and those are always really useful. You can pick your poison here. Well, literally pick your poison with Toxic, or you can pick with Thunder Wave. God, that's such a bad joke. Anyways, totally unintentional, by the way. So anyways, I like Toxic more because when I'm usually facing a Magic Guard Pokemon, I can throw on a Toxic, use Entrainment, and they'll start taking Toxic damage, which is really nice. You could use Thunder Wave, because if they switch in Choice Scarf Pokemon, they will definitely not benefit from being super slowed down. But you can pick either one. It doesn't really matter too much. Do whatever your team needs. And for the last move, it really is up for grabs. Personally, I use either Frustration or Dizzy Punch because I just want one attacking move so I don't be taunt bait. So I pick either. I kind of like Dizzy Punch more because Lopunny already doesn't have the greatest attack stat, so you might as well go use Dizzy Punch and try to get a confusion going, which is kind of nice because if there's ever a Pokemon that's really close to dying, you kind of want to kill it, quickly before it dies. So Lopunny is really fast too. So Dizzy Punch is a cool option if you want to be original. Frustration if you just want to play safe. There's also a lot of other possible moves that are not attacking. So if you want to go for a 4 non-attacking moveset on Lopunny, that's totally viable as well. So one of the best options I also see on Lopunny, and which I've experimented with, is Heal Bell. Heal Bell is really nice because it gets rid of all the status on your Pokemon. It's very, very useful. You can use it if you'd like. If you don't have a Heal Beller, I really recommend it. But otherwise, you don't have to. It's not like the end of the world, but it will definitely help your team more if you have Heal Bell. Healing Wish is a really cool option. Healing Wish, basically what it does is that it instantly kills Lopunny, but whatever Pokemon you switch in next, it'll instantly recover and get back all your HP. So it's really useful in Pokemon like Archeops, who, after you take in too many Stealth Rock switch-ins, you can go with Lopunny, use Healing Wish, switch back into Archeops, back to full HP, ready to sweep again. So that's just one idea, but you can use a Healing Wish for a lot of different situations. It's very, 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 very situational. I really don't recommend it too much, but if you want to be original, go ahead, go for Healing Wish. Because after it's done with Switcheroo and Trayman and a bunch of spreading statuses, you might as well fodder it in a good way. So Encore is another cool move you can have, because that can also force a lot of switches as well. Because what you could do is that you could Encore a Pokemon into Substitute, and then you can switcheroo the item and stuff like that, and then they'll keep being locked in. But they'll probably switch out in time if they're smart. But Encore is not a bad option to have on Lopunny. Mirror Coat is okay, I guess. You can use that as if you're using a lead Lopunny. I've never tried it, but I imagine it would work okay. And wait, did I say Magikarp before? I think I meant Magikarp before. Mirror Coat is an interesting one that you actually could replace with Frustration and Dizzy Punch, and I actually like this one better too, because Mirror Coat is the special attack version of Counter. So with the HP investment, you can take a special attack pretty well. You do have an okay amount of special defense as well, so you can definitely take a hit with about half HP, reflect it all back, and instantly kill your opponent. So that can catch a lot of people off guard, so I actually highly recommend that out of all the other possible moves, but I like Dizzy Punch better, but just to play safe. But either way, you can pick whatever you'd like. Hope that kind of provided a little bit more analysis on Lopunny, kind of shared my weird custom moveset, I guess, so not really custom actually, but you know what, whatever, it's cool. I just hope you really learned a lot from this tutorial video, I guess, so yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what Pokemon I should do